Hello everybody. Today I was going to do a little video on Riche water troughs. I don't work for them. I just started using them the last couple years. I think they're a great product. I was just going to share a couple things with you to maybe help with the installation. I had a little problem with this one. I'll kind of go over it and show you the trouble I had, and I think I got the right fix for it. So here's this trough. They tell you to put it on a pad of concrete. I think they only recommend like a 3x3 pad. I'll tell you, with what I've experienced, pour as big a pad as you can. Between cows and horses, they're always dripping, they're always spilling. I went with a pretty big pad on this one. I think it's about a 10x10 or 12x12, and it's a lot better. I've got another trough over by my krills. It's on a small 4x4. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's small. I like this bigger pad a lot better. Another thing that's interesting that I had, maybe you can see on that side, I had to cut the concrete. You can see those cut lines in it because I had the water line break underneath the concrete. So the water was running. I've kind of backfilled most of it, but you can see over there, the water was running down the hill. I ended up cutting the concrete, pulling the trough off the pad and getting under there. And what actually happened was, when you install these, try to stick the thing in there. So you got like an 8-inch, I think that's an 8 sleeve, and then you run the electric up through it, and you can see that blue pipe there with the brass fittings. That's the water supply that's coming up through this 8-inch sleeve. Well, in the instructions, they tell you to run your underground pipe up to the bottom of this and then come straight up with a piece of PVC pipe. I did exactly what the instructions said, and it worked for a couple years. What happened when I ended up digging this whole thing out was the PVC pipe. You guys have done PVC, it's super brittle. And what happened is, back underneath the concrete, back in there ways, I think the trench and the pipe settled and it snapped the plastic PVC from this blue tough tube, is what kind of the generic name for it. If you guys have laid pipe, you're familiar with it, but it's that poly pipe. It's this tough tube right here. Hard to see it, but that stuff is tough. I mean, I've heard of guys running over with the backhoe and not hurting it. And so I run the tough tube to the bottom of that, hook the PVC on, come up. When that settled, it snapped the PVC. So the fix, dug it all out. I run the tough tube from the bottom of the trench, made the 90, and come straight up into here, and then hooked on the trough with the brass fittings to the tough tube. I think that's the right way to do it after doing it a second time. That's how I would recommend doing it, because that tough tube has so much more give. It's super tough and flexible, unlike the plastic PVC. One thing I was going to mention about these Riche troughs that I like really well is the bowl itself is made out of stainless steel. And the heater is underneath the bowl, so the heater doesn't touch the water. I looked at, when I was getting ready to install these, I looked at several different brands. They all had in the water heaters, and I think that over time the water just corrodes them and they fail. But this is the only one that I found that the heater is not inside the water. A little bit of a funny story. The guy I bought this from, I says, tell me why I should buy a Riche trough over one of the other brands. He was an older gentleman, been ranching a long time. He goes, well, let me tell you, son, I bought my first Riche trough 30 years ago and I've never replaced the heating element. I said, good enough, send me one. So really like the product. Just wanted to share this information about these troughs with you guys. Just wanted to share that with everybody. If you're looking at these Riche troughs, they're a great trough. The downside is you have to run electricity to them. I think they do make a model that you don't have to, that's got those balls in there that don't freeze. But for my little tiny operation, I decided that it was worth the extra effort to run the electricity. I've only got 9 head of cows out there. I got 4 head of horses. The theory about the ones that are non-electrical is you have a lot of stock, it keeps them thawed out. The cows will come and push the balls down, that keeps the water flowing. I mean, if I had 50 head of cows, I'd probably get by just fine. But my small bunch, I felt like the electrical was the way to go. So just want to share that with you. Hope everybody has a good day.